My wife screamed that my 5-year-old daughter was ruining our perfect family and demanded I sign away my parental rights. I don't care if she's yours, I never wanted her. She sneered. When I refused, she threatened to leave with our newborn. I looked at my terrified little girl and said, Daddy will never let anyone hurt you. Then I handed my wife something she was not expecting. I'm 34M, divorced father of Violet, 5F, from my first marriage. My ex-wife Michelle died in a car accident 3 years ago, leaving Violet in my full custody. About 18 months ago, I met Rebecca, 29F, at a work conference. She seemed wonderful, charming, successful marketing executive, seemed to get along well with Violet initially. We married 8 months ago, and our son Jake was born 5 months ago. The problem started almost immediately after our wedding. Rebecca began making subtle comments about Violet, how she was too clingy, how she needed to learn independence, how it was weird for a 5-year-old to still want bedtime stories. I brushed it off as adjustment issues, thinking she'd warm up once she got used to being a stepmom. I was so wrong. After Jake was born, Rebecca's mask completely slipped off. She started openly favoring our son, buying him expensive clothes and toys while forgetting to get Violet anything. She'd make Violet eat dinner in her room while we had family time with the baby. When Violet would cry or act out, normal 5-year-old behavior, especially after losing her mom, Rebecca would roll her eyes and mutter about drama queens and attention seekers. The breaking point came during Violet's birthday party planning. I wanted to throw her a princess-themed party. Violet had been obsessed with Frozen for months. Rebecca threw an absolute fit, saying we couldn't afford to waste money on elaborate parties and that Violet should learn to be grateful for what she has. This from a woman who spent $800 on a photoshoot for Jake when he was 2 months old. That's when I started documenting everything. Every cruel comment, every time Violet was excluded, every instance of emotional neglect. I also started recording conversations on my phone when legally permissible. We live in a one-party consent state, and I made sure to only record in areas of our home where I had reasonable expectation that conversations might be overheard by others. Something in my gut told me I'd need evidence eventually. While gathering evidence of Rebecca's treatment of Violet over the past 4 months, I discovered something that made my blood run cold. Rebecca had been posting on social media groups and forums about being a stepmom, but the things she was saying were absolutely vile. Under usernames that I was able to connect to her through various online breadcrumbs, same writing style, similar details about our family situation, timeline matches, she complained about her ungrateful stepdaughter who was ruining her family. She talked about ways to encourage stepchildren to want to live with their other parent, including making them feel unwelcome and excluded. The worst part? She was getting advice from other people on how to manipulate me into giving up custody of Violet. There were detailed plans about creating situations where Violet would act out in front of me, then positioning herself as the victim who was trying so hard but being undermined by a difficult child. One particularly disturbing post read, how do I make my husband see that his daughter from his dead wife is preventing us from being a real family? She's always crying about missing her mommy and it's bringing down the mood in our house. My baby deserves better than being around all that negative energy. Another gem, stepkid accidentally broke one of my expensive candles today. I made sure to cry in front of my husband about how she doesn't respect our home. He bought me an even more expensive replacement and lectured her about being careful. These kids are so easy to manipulate when you know what buttons to push. I screenshot everything. Every post, every comment, every piece of advice she'd received and implemented. The online trail showed a calculated campaign of psychological warfare against a grieving 5-year-old. Rebecca had been following a playbook designed by other vindictive step-parents to systematically break down Violet's sense of belonging in her own home. I also hired a private investigator to document her activities during the day when I was at work and Violet was at school.